Welcome to the Genuinely You podcast channel, which is packed with advice and tips on how to live your life with purpose. Do you wish you felt happy and fulfilled? Are you feeling stuck, wishing things could be better? Are you ready to take some action and create the life you want? To start living an empowered life, you need to recognize and make full use of the power and freedom that comes from being genuinely you. Your host is Gina Gardner, a #1 best-selling author whose whole life has been about supporting people to achieve personal empowerment, helping people just like you recognize that they can.
Cat lovers will know exactly what I mean. When you see the world through the eyes of a kitten, you get the perfect lesson on how to live in the moment. For the kitten, the world is full of exciting things to explore. Everything is new and everything is a potential plaything. Every sense is heightened as you go moment by moment through the day. Here's a taste of the world according to Leo. You'll find some photographs and some videos of him on the website. Leo was loath to get up this morning when I went into the kitchen. He yawned, stretched to his full capacity, and then closed his eyes and went back to sleep. As I opened the cupboard door to get out the food pouches and his dishes, he went from completely relaxed and flat out to fully alert. He bounced out of bed and was sitting ready for breakfast with his tail neatly wrapped around his feet before I had a chance to open the pouch. Once breakfast was hoovered up, he was off, out of the kitchen to explore. Every nook and cranny was examined, each item sniffed, patted and some chewed before bouncing on to the next. Periodically, the exploration process was suspended while he attacked his scratching post, climbed onto the top and dived off to catch the ribbons which are attached onto it with string. I wonder, how often are you distracted by worrying about all those things that are on your to-do list, or thinking about the past and wishing you'd done things differently? Focusing too much on the past or what might or should happen in the future detracts hugely from enjoying the here and now. Leah's got no such problem. His attention is fully on the now. He uses every fibre of his being to grab life and enjoy it. If you find yourself harping on about the past, a useful strategy is to journal the events and how those events have made you feel. It's useful then to consider what lesson you've learnt from the experience. Ask yourself, where's the gift? Give yourself permission to let the situation go rather than harbour on about it. If needs be, create a ceremony around letting the past go. Burn what you've written in your journal. Tear it into tiny pieces and bury it in the garden, or sprinkle it into a river and sea and watch it be taken away. You don't actually have to do any of these physically. It works if you do it in your mind's eye, but it's your choice. Back to Leo. His attention was then taken up with a paper sack I'd left on the floor. He stalked it carefully, bottom stuck up in the air, as he edged his way towards this strange brown thing he'd never encountered before. The hairs on his back were up, tail twice its normal size, as he rushed in for the attack. He pounced, and as he pounced, the bag made a loud crackling noise. Leo leapt into the air, all 4 paws spread wide, before landing and rushing to hide under the sideboard. All was quiet for a few moments, until a little face appeared from under the corner of its hidey-hole. Inch by inch, he manoeuvred himself closer and closer to the bag. A tentative paw uncurled and patted the bag. As the bag rustled, Leo jumped back, but he held his ground. Once again he crawled belly to the ground towards the bag. He drew himself up, and then he jumped high into the air before landing squarely in the middle of the bag. He attacked the bag with teeth and all 4 paws, growling as he did so. Only when he was absolutely convinced that the bag was no threat did he step back. He sat, head on one side, whilst deciding what to do next. The opening to the bag presented itself, and Leo lay on his side whilst poking a paw inside. Little by little, He wriggled forward until he disappeared inside. The next thing I saw was the paper bag, apparently moving unaided along the floor as Leo pushed it from the inside. After a few moments, when Leo had been lying quietly in the dark, there was a great amount of rustling and crackling as Leo turned himself round and finally shot out of the bag like a rocket. I wonder, when you're tackling something new, how much of your approach is affected by things which have happened in the past. This can be hugely positive when you bring previous skills to bear and use your expertise and knowledge in the new situation. But it also can be really negative, where you've got lots of baggage from previous experiences that generate a fear of failing or getting hurt or mistrust of people. It's these which become incredibly counterproductive. Fear of being hurt stops many people from getting out there to look for a loving relationship. The paradox is that the fear keeps you stuck in a place where you're lonely and unfulfilled. Leo's got no such baggage. He accepts each different situation for exactly what it is. Momentary fear passes, and as soon as the perceived threat is over, Leo carries on with enthusiasm and an incredible verve for life. On this morning, grooming was next on Leo's agenda. He washed each part of himself with a thoroughness even the most particular would approve of, his white front sparkling like something out of a detergent advert, before looking around to see what other mischief he could get into next. It was now the turn of the orchids. The roots which were growing out of the pot bounced up and down very satisfyingly when Leo patted them with a paw. This activity kept Leo fully engaged for quite a while. He patted them from the front, then the sides, and the back. He tried it with his right paw and then his left. Each time he batted the root, he put more and more pressure into the pat until the whole plant jumped out of the pot and onto the floor, covering him and the floor with orchid bark. He looked very surprised, sneezed, and then immediately started to play football with the bark, which flew across the floor in a very satisfying way when he patted it. Just compare Leo's approach to life with how many of us fail to make the very best of each moment. When I initially start working with clients, I'm struck on just how many of them allow their past to define and spoil the now. Instead of taking the lesson or the gift from their past experiences and moving forward, they've chained the past by its negative impact. Others are so busy planning and goal setting for the future, and they see the destination as something that they never actually achieve, and so much so that they fail to enjoy the journey. So, my challenge to you, why not choose to savour your day? Take a few moments out of every busy day to really be in the moment. One simple way to do this is to take time and look around you and imagine that you're seeing, for example, the natural world for the first time. Look at the textures, the colours, the shapes. What can you hear? Are the noises natural or man-made? Or can you actually hear silence? Use each of your senses in turn and really focus on what you're taking in. How does it make you feel? It's great if you can get outside into the garden or a park or the woods, but don't let time or lack of time stop you from truly living in the moment. Even if you use your senses, all of them, when you eat slowly and savour each mouthful. I was once asked to eat a square of really tasty chocolate, but to use a pin to do it. And it's amazing, if you're actually taking it pinhead by pinhead, how you really do savour the taste and the texture. Be playful about living in the moment. Smile and see the world through a child or through Leo's eyes. The great thing here is that there's no pressure to do things in any particular way. Leo doesn't care what others think. He's just having fun. Do let me know how you get on, and look out for the pictures and the videos of Leo. Bye now.
You've just been listening to another great Genuinely You podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Genuinely You is a culmination of Gina's work, spanning over 30 years, of helping people learn what makes them feel happy and truly fulfilled, and how to achieve it. Please visit genuinely-u.com today to find out more.